Namaste and hello. This is your Sanskrit instructor welcoming you back into lesson number 217. In this lesson, we're going to learn about adjectives of direction ending in ach. So again, adjectives of direction ending in ach. We have three stems that we're working with here. So the strong stem ends in achna. Actually, it's not achna. The strong stem ends in anch. And then the middle stem, because that's a nya, so anch. And then the middle stem ends in ach. The weak stem, now there's two ways that you can form the weak stem. So if it ends in, if their ach is preceded by a ya, then your weak stem is each. But if your weak stem is preceded by a va, then it's going to be uch. So each when ach is preceded by a ya, and uch when ach is preceded by a va with a halant. So we have pratyach, which means backward. So that does not end, it's not preceded by a va, it's preceded by a ya. So our weak stem here is going to be each, that we're going to add on to it. So the strong stem is pratyanch. The middle stem is pratyach. This should have been highlighted blue too. The halant. Pratyanch. And then the weak stem is pratich, because it was preceded by a ya. The ach was preceded by a ya. And now for the declension of this in the masculine and neuter, again, I have everything color-coded by its stem so that you can know which stem you need to use or to recognize it faster. So for nominative, singular, dual, and plural. So before I begin, remember that those that are surrounded in yellow is the strong stem. Those that are surrounded in the blue is the middle stem. And then those that aren't surrounded by anything, those are using the weak stem. So for nominative, singular, dual, and plural, for the masculine gender, we have pratyan. Then we have, for dual, we have pratyanchau, and then pratyanchaha. For accusative, singular, dual, and plural, we have pratyancham, pratyanchau, and pratichaha. For instrumental, singular, dual, and plural, we have praticha, pratyagbhyam, and then pratyagbhihi. Notice the sandhi that is taking place. For the dative, we have pratiche, pratyagbhyam, and pratyagbhyaha. For ablative, singular, dual, and plural, we have pratichaha, pratyagbhyam, and pratyagbhyaha. For genitive, we have pratichaha, pratichoho, and praticham. For locative, singular, dual, and plural, we have pratichi, pratichoho, and pratyakshu. Then for vocative, singular, dual, and plural, we have he pratyang, he pratyanchau, and he pratyanchaha. For the locative plural, you must be wondering, why is it pratyankshu? But the reason for that is, remember that the weak stem was originally, well, it's actually the middle stem, not the weak stem, because it's highlighted in blue. The original stem was pratyanch. So when you have pratyanch and su together, the cerebrals are going to be reduced, not the cerebrals, because cha is a palatal. So the palatal could be reduced into a ka, because a Sanskrit word can only end with eka, arta, apa, arda, na, ma, or visarg. All other final consonants must be reduced to one of these 8. So you have these 2 consonants together. So when it is next to the sa in the su case ending, that cha in the cha in the prat. So basically, su was added on to this, right? So this was reduced to a ka with a halant. So ka plus the sa is going to give you your kshu. So that was basically the sandhi rule when we are going over the consonant sandhis. And that is something for you to look over. So that's how you end up with pratyakshu. Now moving on to the neuter declension. So for nominative, singular, dual, and plural, we have pratyak, then pratichi, and then pratyanchi. This is actually supposed to, this E should have been here. So I'll take a minute and correct that. So pratyanchi, that's how it should be spelt and written out. When you have a half letter, you always want to connect it to the full letter before adding the vowel. So now for accusative, singular, dual, and plural, we have the same thing. We have pratyak, then for dual, pratichi, and then for plural, pratyanchi. And then finally for vocative, we have he pratyak, he pratichi, and he pratyanchi. Now, the instrumental, singular, dual, and plural, all the way down to locative, singular, dual, and plural, as usual, they're going to be declined like the masculine, and then also considering the middle and the weak stems, just like the masculine, those have to be applied as well. So that is how you would decline an adjective of direction ending in ach. And that is how you would form the stems. And with that, this is your Sanskrit instructor signing off with a namaste.